Oh, feels so good. Feels so good. Feels so good to have gotten a good night's sleep. Had a day of rest yesterday. A day where I woke with vague plans to get a bunch of stuff done. What have you. Oh. Just a pile of clothes. Just kind of randomly piled on a chair behind me. Didn't like the imagery. I thought I'd use my drawer instead. Note to self, if you're looking for a couple of your sweatshirts and a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, might be past pair of shorts season, but if I'm looking for that, it's in one of my drawers. Oh, morning, RJ. Morning, Case Smith. Morning, Bell Pepper. Morning, CT. Morning, Road Glizzies. Morning, Rough Rider. Dan Collins. Andera. Well, what's the matter with you guys? You're all up so early. It's back to work today. It is back to work today. Thank you so much for following the Creator Road. Appreciate that. And sharing the live. RJ, that was kind of you. For anybody that wants food, content, from a father and a family man and a good guy, check out Chippy's page. He really likes his food, and some of his videos are getting popular, and he's building an audience with his own content, doing his own thing, what matters to him, and one of the things he really enjoys, I know, is food. Posted a video of some dish he was preparing for the football games on Sunday, and it got a whole bunch of views. I thought that was pretty cool. Road is saying they got to get up and go to work. Is that a thumbs down? Well, Road, I understand why you feel it's a thumbs down and why you're saying you got to get up. But I promise you, your day will feel better if you somehow just tell your mind to say you get to get up and go to work. It sounds so silly and so simple and so kind of dumb, but it is true. If you say you gotta go do something, life sucks. But when you get to go do something, life's great. And, it might not immediately work, but I think it'll put a smile on your face. Road Glizzies, if you would do me a favor and retype that comment and say you get to go up and go to work and then put a thumbs up, just see how it makes you feel. Because Road Glizzies wrote he gotta get up and go to work with a thumbs down. And I talk a lot about attitude and how attitude can change your day and your life and, I don't know, a bunch of stuff. And I'll bet you if Road Glizzies says he gets to go up and go to work with a thumbs up, he's going to smile a little bit. Hello, Billy. How are you from Wichita, Kansas? Good morning to you. And good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Tuesday morning. I believe it's September 3rd. It's about 5:17 in the morning. Happy Tuesday. It's a show I've been doing for quite some time. A show about me talking, kind of sharing some feelings, sharing little bit about life. Thank you, Raul. Kind of just sharing 30 minutes to an hour, maybe sometimes an hour and a half. It's a show I have fun with. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, you know it's not just a show about me talking. You know it is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I just poured myself a hot cup of coffee. I am so excited to have my first sip at this very early hour on this Tuesday morning. My hope, and it's the sincerest hope, is that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you have a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. It's a smoked butterscotch. It's nice. It's got a real nice subtle flavor. It doesn't have I drink a lot of pumpkin spice. You guys all know that watch my show. Drink a lot of pumpkin spice on the show. And it almost has a burn or a zest, if you will. Heat almost. I mean, obviously it's hot coffee, but I don't mean that type of heat. I mean a spicy heat. Picante, not caliente for those Hispanohablantes out there. Oh, but this is smoother and a little more subtle. And it's kind of nice. It's like a warm hug. And who doesn't like a warm hug? How's the coffee supply for the week? Well, I mean, I probably have enough for a week. I got a whole pack of pumpkin spice and a little bit of smoked butterscotch and a little bit of Sumatra left. What I don't have are a whole heck of a lot of groceries. And yesterday was Labor Day. And yesterday I had all these vague plans. And yesterday I thought it was a day I was going to climb to the top of the mountain and keep kicking ass and keep moving forward and charging forward but sometimes even on a climb up the mountain or even when you're charging forward, you need to lay down and rest. And yesterday, to my surprise, was the day I ended up laying down and resting. And the irony is it was Labor Day. But I'm a waiter. I wait tables here in Naperville. I didn't think I'd be waiting tables at 56. But waiting is just one small aspect of my life, but it generates enough revenue for me here to enable me to do what I need to do and cover my financial responsibilities and keep a roof over my head. And one nice thing about waiting tables, since it's not 9 to 5, the more you work, the more you make. And I had worked the previous 7 nights in a row and worked hard and was tired, but kind of had gotten used to working every day and knew there was money to be made last night. And I know in my situation and in a lot of our situation, financial issues come up. And they certainly come up for me, and tried to pick up a shift that was available, but somebody else must have beat me to it because I wasn't able to pick up a shift at my restaurant. And I go, huh. And I tried to reach out, go see my kids, although they weren't available. They had a busy day. So I laid there and go, huh. Maybe I'll go work out. Maybe I'll go to Starbucks. Maybe I'll go to the grocery store. I know of a grocery store that's selling my favorite cup of coffee. Or not cup of coffee. Cinnamon Dolce coffee by Starbucks. On sale yesterday. And I thought of doing all these things. And I did my coffee show yesterday morning. And I went to bed and was editing videos and posting this live video to various social media platforms, as I have a habit to do. And a movie came on that I hadn't seen in many years. Oh, it was really nice to have a slower day. It was a really nice to have a slower day. I realized it during the day. A movie came on that I haven't seen. I don't know if I've seen it since I saw it in the theater. And for anybody out there, because I get some viewers, and I know a lot of people that are younger than me now. I just turned 56. But to me, there was a movie right after I graduated college that I went and saw with my girlfriend at the time that was kind of a romantic movie and was kind of a classic of the time. But I don't think it's gotten enough or gotten too much seen too often by, I'll guess, the younger people. And if anybody out there is watching and kind of wants a good love story, go watch or go, see the movie Ghost. See the movie Ghost. It came on at 9 in the morning, and I was just posting my videos and just realized my work shift was gone, and my kids were busy, and all of a sudden Ghost popped on. I go, I was like Patrick Swayze. Wow, Demi Moore looks young in this, and don't we all? It was 34 years ago. But watched it, really enjoyed it, thought it was a really good movie. I think it's one of those movies that both men and women it'll appeal to because it's romantic, and I think it was really well made. I think it was really well made. Frozen Land asked, what did I study in college? I studied finance. I have a finance degree from the University of Illinois. Butterscotch reminds me of the hard candy at his grandparents, says Tenley Sukovich. It's a warm memory. Yeah, it's a warm memory for me. I know the candies you're talking about, those little bracks. I think assume you're talking about the bracks. Bratches, I don't know, B-R-A-C-H-S, B-R-A-C-H-S, and the little golden plastic wrapper. It's a nice flavor, butterscotch. Oh. Did I ever work in the finance industry? I certainly did. I became a stockbroker, but I don't even know if it's really the finance industry when you're a stockbroker. Yes, I think most people would say it is, and it has to do with investments, but being a stockbroker wasn't about the investments. It was about the hard selling of something over the phone. We could have been selling anything with the machine we had set up. We had a name of a big brokerage company, Lehman Brothers or Bear Stearns or Oppenheimer or whatever, big investment banks. But I think a lot of these investment banks, and I think a lot of businesses are really sales companies rather than their underlying business isn't as important as their sales staff. And I realized it certainly while I was a realtor, certainly as a realtor, that doesn't matter how hard you work for your customer if you don't have any customers, so you got to get out there and pound the pavement and sell your product or sell your service or do whatever. Especially if you're an independent contractor or a small business person, you can have the best hardware store in the country, but if you don't have any customers, you're not going to have that hardware store for long. Connor Klaus followed the live creator. Thank you, Connor. He loves the vibes here. Well, I appreciate that. We're just having some coffee and starting our day, Connor. J.C. Brown, good morning to you. You are welcome, Frozen Land. Please follow my page. I'm having fun here, and I'm growing my audience a little bit every day. I have more movies to talk about. We've talked about Ghost. That's only 25% of the movies I saw yesterday, but we'll get back to that if you remind me. Again, I was thinking about it this morning. I went into the washroom and I was getting ready and I had my shirt off and I looked at myself and I go, wow, I'm in pretty good shape. Because the truth of the matter is I'm in pretty good shape. And it didn't happen overnight, and nothing I have done has I mean, there's aspects, there's quick changes you can make. But you got to recognize there's a issue before you're going to make a change. And there's quick changes you can make. And I tell you what, recognizing there's an issue is a big change you can make quickly. And for me, 5 years ago, I realized the voice inside my head was a horridly negative one, and I needed to fix that. And because of that, I popped on positive affirmations that morning and felt better immediately and realized I was needed to change and needed to fix some things. So there are quick changes you can make. Hey, David, thanks for following the live creator. But most of the things take time, and most of the change takes time. And I've been working out pretty consistently for a year, and had to change my diet. And when I say my diet, don't think I'm eating spinach and kale and protein shakes, because I am not. I changed the way I think about eating and my eating habits a little bit, but I mean, should have seen what I had for dinner last night. I microwaved up one of those Bob Evans packages of mashed potatoes, and they're probably not good for you because they're microwavable packages of something, and none of that's really good. But I ate it all, and then I ate 2 frozen burritos, and I'll tell you what, it was a delicious dinner. It was a delicious dinner, but it was one of the few times I ate yesterday, and I was allowed to indulge in gorging myself on mashed potatoes and frozen burritos. No sour cream and chives. No even salsa or sour cream on my burrito or cheese. Because I'm staying in an extended stay. I'm kind of living a minimalist existence right now as I climb my way back up the mountain and cover my financial responsibilities and wait tables and build content and what have you. So no, I don't have all the finer little things. The only condiment of any sort I have in my fridge is a bottle of spicy brown mustard. I think it's spicy. It's like Grey Poupon. It's delicious. Oh, it's delicious. It goes great on my ham or my hot dogs. Yeah. Did I become rich being a stockbroker? I mean, I don't know if I was ever rich. I mean, I think a lot of people probably looked at me as rich. I had a super fancy car. I lived in a super nice apartment in Chicago. But I was squandering money as quickly as I made it, whether it was partying or gambling or cars or apartments. And it was an interesting time for sure. It's hard to describe myself as rich because looking back, I felt so broke as far as fulfillment. I was trying to soothe my negative voice by a fancy car and fancy apartment and gambling and alcohol and money. But I'll tell you what, if you pile cash up on your bed and cuddle with the money, it's still kind of lonely. So, yeah, I had money. But again, I was spending it just as quick as I was making it. And I wasn't even ultra successful as a stockbroker. I was fairly successful. And fairly successful in 1992 was fairly successful. Yeah. Tuesday Clips loves Tuesday Coffee with Ken. Well, you should see the Monday and Thursday Coffee with Ken. They're all pretty good. Glitch asked if I've ever tried the McDonald's breakfast burritos. Oh yeah, have I tried those? Those are pretty tasty. They're small. They used to be on the dollar menu. Which is sadly gone as a byproduct of inflation and various government actions. But either way, yeah, the breakfast burritos at McDonald's are pretty good. Really good. And their salsa's nice. Sometimes, though, I'll pour the salsa in and I'll eat them when I used to have a car. I don't currently have a car. That's on my to-do list in the next 2 months. Get car. But anyway, when I would be driving and I'd be pouring the salsa in the parking lot on my breakfast burrito at McDonald's, and I'd take a bite and I'd head off, and then a blob of salsa sometimes would fall out and hit my shirt or pants or something. That was never good. That was never good. Oh, yeah. Tenley's saying he likes the Bob Evans mashed potatoes with sausage, and RJ saying the Bob Evans mac and cheese is solid. It is. Both are delicious, and the only reason I ate the mac and cheese about a week ago, it was on sale. 2 of the tubs, you know, those things, the little plastic containers. They're not even that little. They're generous. I mean, they're like serving 3 or 4 or one hungry Ken in a extended stay in Naperville. But anyway, they're especially nice if you put a little extra cheese on the mac and cheese when you're microwaving it up. Not that it needs it, but it kind of gives it the baked mac and cheese. I just tell you, more melted cheese is usually a good thing. It's usually a good thing. Why don't I have a car? I couldn't afford it, Heather. I couldn't afford it. I had a fancy car. I bought it. I was a realtor for 17 years. I left the real estate business about 1.5 years ago, and right during a second divorce. And divorces are painful, I'm sure, for all parties, financially and emotionally and spiritually, and hard. And again, that combined with leaving a career that I'd done a long time and tried really hard at, but only done fairly well, put me in, you know, I think my decisions, I'll just say my decisions put me in financial straits. I'm not trying to make excuses or blame anybody, but my decisions and my habits got me to where I was in a career I didn't like, and I was physically in bad shape, and I was going through a divorce, and I was spiritually lacking. And good morning, Josh. Because of that, I had to make a lot of cutbacks, and my car was unfortunately one of them. And about 5-6 months ago, I rode across the country on a scooter, a Suzuki Bergman 400, because I said, I need cash. I have a lot of financial responsibilities that I need to take care of. I need to have a roof over my head. And I found a job working at Yellowstone as a waiter, which I did not anticipate doing at 55 at the time. But they offered cheap housing and cheap food and a job. And I go, hey, I need all of those. And the job was more lucrative and tiring and a lot of things, but it was more lucrative than I expected. And I was working as a waiter for the first time in my life full time. I'll tell you what, you can make a surprising amount of money if you got the energy and the stamina to do it. It's probably not for everybody, but very few jobs are for everybody. And while working in Yellowstone, I realized I needed to get back. I had 4 beautiful kids that needed their data, and I missed the suburbs of Chicago. And I rode my scooter back with a lot of confidence that my body could hold up to the rigors of waiting tables. And you could make a good amount of money doing it if your body could hold up and you had a good attitude. And I realized I had a great attitude. I worked hard, and I could do it. So I came back here, got a job at a fairly nice restaurant here in Naperville, and have been working the last 2 or 3 weeks there, and doing fairly well and working my way forward. So that's my story about that. Oh, but anyway, as I walked in and went to the washroom this morning and saw myself in pretty good shape, and why didn't I try getting a corporate job? I don't know that I have any desire to have a job in a traditional sense. I don't think I'm good at 9 to 5. As a stockbroker, we worked different hours than that, but we had flexible schedules. If I wanted to go golf in the middle of the day, I could. As a realtor, I certainly had a flexible schedule, and that was 17 years. There's times in my life, I worked in a bank once for about a year as a investments guy, and that was one of the hardest years of my life. I struggled there. I felt like I was trapped, and I felt like the energy level in the bank that I was working at was a low energy level, and I was hurting and struggling. So, where was I? I had my shirt off in the bathroom. Let's keep getting back to that image for those that want to. And I realized I was in good shape, and realized it didn't happen overnight, and thought of my life very briefly, and thought of a comment made by somebody on a post I made yesterday about how consistent I've been, for how long I've consistent and determined I've been, and they were happy to see I was getting some success. And my comment back was, yeah, the tortoise wins the race. And I think it does. Because I'm consistent, and I am a determined mofo. So I keep hopping on live, and my audience continues to grow, and I keep saying whatever it is I say, and drinking my coffee, and going to the gym, and working hard, and bringing a positive attitude, and doing the best I can every day. And slowly but surely, I'm building up momentum, and finding myself in a better place. I know it doesn't seem glorious, and I'm not saying where I'm at is glamorous or glorious, and it's certainly not driving around the car that I used to be driving around, or living in the apartment with a view of all of Chicago and the lake. But that's okay. That's okay. That's just not where I'm at right now. And I'm not even dying to get back there. I like things. I like some things. I realize things don't buy happiness, but it's nice to be able to buy things or not buy things, and choose whether you want to. And make the decision, not because you don't have any money, but because you realize you don't need them and they wouldn't better your life in any way. So yeah. Oh, but anyway, I would recommend to anybody out there looking for a little motivative book, simple book, real easy read book. I've talked about it before, but The Compound Effect, written by the guy that founded Success Magazine. I think there's a couple books that I've read that are similar, but that's the one that touched me the most, and was the easiest read, and the easiest that connected with me the most. And it was basically just get a little better. And realize if you go to the gym today, you're not going to be in better shape tomorrow, or you're not going to be perceptibly any better shape tomorrow. But if you keep going, and you keep going to work, and you keep getting out of bed, and you keep making your bed, and you keep having a positive attitude, or going to church, or stop drinking, or you don't see the transformation overnight. But I promise you, as a guy that's been doing it for 5 years, you start slowly but surely, you find yourself in a better place. And I think what's happening to me right now is it's no longer slowly but surely. It's been slowly but surely, but the momentum I built up and the pace of my improvement is picking up. And I think, and I probably said it before, but if you look at me, if we could fast forward a year, I don't think I'll be sitting in an extended stay and talking about not having a car, or maybe even waiting tables. I don't know what the future holds, but I do think I'm on the right path, and I'm going in the right direction. So let's have a little more coffee. Heck, let's refilm. Well, we've got picked up a lot of followers today. Isn't that fun? Fun, fun, fun. Whew. Oh, hang with it. Hang with me. Oh, we were talking movies. Were we talking movies? Somebody said I'm Knuff, and I appreciate that. Didn't like the Barbie movie really at all. I kind of disliked it, but I liked the shirt that my daughters bought me that said I am Knuff. What other movie? Okay, so I watched Ghost. I'll tell you what, if you haven't seen Ghost, and you're with, especially if you're with your wife, if you're a guy out there and you pop in Ghost, I bet your wife's going to really enjoy it, and you're probably going to like it a little bit too, and you very well might get some loving at the end of it, so it's a win-win-win. Hello, Cheryl. Thank you for following the live creator. But I'd say Ghost was very good. And again, I don't know that I've seen it since I saw it in the theater. I might have seen clips of it, but I don't think I've watched it start to finish since it came out in 1990. And it stars Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore and Whoopi Goldberg. And it's a really good movie. And I think both men and women would find it appealing. Yeah. But anyway, wrapped up Ghost, got back to what I was doing, laying in bed, and I drifted off into heavenly sleep for 2 hours. Oh, and it was a deep, deep, deep sleep that I really needed, and found myself waking up just before 1 in the afternoon, and kind of thought for a minute as I woke up that maybe God didn't want me doing a whole lot on that day, and that maybe staying in my room or my house or my apartment or whatever you want to call it was what I needed. So I started wrapping my brain around it, and I'm a guy that likes to be on the go and moving around and going to Starbucks or going shopping or going to the park or going to the gym or going to work or whatever. And realized maybe yesterday was the day that I needed to catch up on a little rest. So I think I edited a video or two. I said, hey, I kind of enjoyed Ghost. I sure like the nap afterwards. What's on next? What did I find on next? I watched 4 movies yesterday. I'm drawing a blank on the second one. They were all real good. It's going to bum me out if I can't think of it. I'll think of it in a moment. I'll tell you, I finished the night on an action movie. For those that like Denzel Washington, I strongly recommend The Equalizer. Oh yeah. He's like a superhero of badass dudes. And it's kind of funny because he's being hunted by the Russian mob during the whole movie, but they're hunting him, but he's not really very worried about it at all. And it's, he's like some, CIA or some sort of trained super badass dude. And there were guys coming looking for him, but he wasn't concerned at all. We were pretty confident the whole movie that he was going to be okay. And even though he was the good guy and they were the bad guy, it was just cool because the bad guy in The Equalizer was he was a very good bad guy, if that makes sense. I think the villain, if you get a good villain in a movie, makes the movie really good. And I thought the villain in The Equalizer was really good, and he was scary and mean-seeming. But what you learned as the movie progressed, that as scary and mean as the bad guy was, Denzel Washington's character was, tougher. And wasn't particularly concerned with those that were coming at him. Yeah, no, it was really good, Tenley. I enjoyed it last night. And it was a nice movie to watch right as I drifted off to sleep. Oh, you don't hunt Denzel anywhere. You do not go after Denzel in a Home Depot or anywhere. Even if you're a cop. Even if you're a cop. No, you do not. Or a mobster. You're not even safe in your own home back in Russia. Oh. Seriously, I watched 4 movies. Oh. Hold on. I got to change the subject because when you're really focused on thinking of things, sometimes it's hard to think of things. And I watched all 4 movies, and I don't think my memory's going, although I guess the proof's in the pudding. But I'm drawing a blank as the 2 ones I saw in the middle. Maybe 4 movies in a day is too much. Do I like Denzel when he plays the bad guy, like Training Day? I prefer him as a good guy. I like Denzel as a, I think I don't know him, but I think I like him as a person, and I think I connect with him better as a good guy. He was very good in Training Day as a bad guy, but I see him and I see a regular guy hero. What was the movie where he was a football coach? He was really good in that. Yeah. Again, I'm struggling with the movies. I'm probably going to hop back on live in 15 minutes because I'm going to think of the other 2 movies I saw. But I can't sit here and stammer in front of you and wonder what movies I watched in the middle of my day. Can I? Maybe I can. Maybe I can a little longer. Somebody asked me a question, and I'll think of it. Remember the Titans? That was a good movie. Yeah, that was the movie where he was the coach. I never saw Unstoppable, but maybe I should. Oh. Boy, I was excited watching these movies. I was going to give my picks to click. And I was thinking my audience should go see them. Maybe you guys need to just learn about 2 movies at a time. Just about 2 movies at a time. Maybe tomorrow's show I can feature the other 2 movies I watched yesterday because they'll come to my mind. What is my favorite food outside of America? I appreciate the question, JC. My favorite food of all time, and I mean, I don't know, is lasagna, can I count that as Italian? Or has it been Americanized to death? But you give me a meat lasagna with meat sauce and a cheese dripping all over it. I just don't think you can find a better food than that. Pizza's pretty darn good. So I don't know. I hope I can count pizza or lasagna as Italian. Because, yeah, meat lasagna is my favorite food. Do I prefer sausage mixed with ground beef? I don't know. I don't do the cooking. I just do the eating, RJ. But sausage mixed with my ground beef certainly sounds good. I don't think I'd complain. I'm not very picky. I'm a good eater. You invite me to your house, and I tend to enjoy food and am not that picky and do a good job of cleaning my plate as a waiter. When I'm checking in on my customers, I usually grade the job they did on cleaning their plate. I don't think they usually expect it. I think I'm probably not the traditional waiter that they're used to. But I don't know, I'm me. I'm me. I critique. I suggest they finish the bottom of their cocktail. I go, you know, back when I used to drink, I used to finish that. I don't know if they care. Baked ziti. All right. JC's from an Italian family. If there is no salt and pepper, is that frustrating? I don't know. I've never been really particularly frustrated by a lack of salt and pepper. I mean, it doesn't stand out. There's a couple times in my life I've acquired salt to put on my French fries, for instance. I like extra, maybe I like salt on French fries. A good gumbo or jambalaya with sausage beef. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, Tenley, that's delicious too. I'd have a hard time eating gumbo. I mean, no, maybe I wouldn't, but it's not really a meal per se. I mean, I guess you could eat it as a meal. I used to get a great gumbo when I worked downtown. The original Heaven on Seven was on the seventh floor of some building on, I think, Wabash maybe. And I used to go there and enjoy a awesome gumbo. And I was with my brokerage buddies, and we'd dare each other to try progressively hotter sauces. And they had a sauce called Dave's Insanity. I think you can buy it at stores. It's pretty crazy hot. But I've been to it before, and they have, they'll bring out bottles if you ask for super, super hot that come in like droplets, like medicine droplets. Don't want to put too much on your food, I'll tell you that. Hello, Stephanie Woods. How are you? Thank you for joining this morning. I'm doing quite well. I'm enjoying some butterscotch, smoked butterscotch coffee. I was up early this morning. Went to bed. I went to bed about 10. Woke up at 5, had a very restful Labor Day, and I'm feeling good. And it's not even 6 in the morning. That's what's so fun. That's what's so fun. We, all of us, have our day in front of us. Have our whole day in front of us. And that feels good. Still in the back of my mind, I'm going, what was the second movie I watched? What was the second movie I watched? Oh, all right, thank you. Seabiscuit. Seabiscuit was the second movie I watched. I'll tell you what, I enjoyed it a lot more the second time than the first time. I liked it the first time, but maybe I was in the right place or right mood or right feeling to watch it yesterday. And Jeff Bridges was in it, and he's a really kind, wealthy guy that during the Depression and buys this little horse and hires a down-and-out horse trainer and a down-and-out jockey. And it's kind of a story of redemption and not giving up and coming back and falling down. It's kind of similar to Coffee with Ken a little bit. It's about a horse, a famous horse from the 30s, and the characters around it that, again, start the movie during the Depression and are struggling in a bunch of different ways, and ends with Seabiscuit winning a race. It's kind of I think it maybe did well. It might be it won awards. I don't know, but I think it was really good. It's got a lot of actors you're going to know. And I'd say it's a pretty big movie. It's almost feels like a documentary because they've got like a voiceover describing what's going on in that period occasionally. And it makes you think you're watching a documentary, but then you realize you're really watching a movie. And it's good. Tenley asked if it was like Rocky with a horse. As good as Seabiscuit was, I don't want to call it Rocky, because Rocky might be my favorite movie of all time. When the music at the end in all of the Rockies, I still get the chills. Still get the chills. When the crowds are going wild and Sylvester Stallone's character's staggering around in the middle of the ring and Adrian's fighting to get to the ring and that music's playing. I'm getting the chills just talking about it. I don't know if anyone knows the movie as well as, I'm sure people know it as well as me, but if it's my retelling, my rendition of the end of Rocky is touching anybody like it's touching me right now, but he's staggering around and you hear the announcer announcing the results of I'm totally getting the chills. In the original Rocky, the announcer's telling you the results of the fight, and Rocky's banged and bloodied in the middle of the ring, and the announcer you can barely hear because the results of the fight weren't what was important. It was that Rocky made it through, and that he loved his wife, and that he had done it and faced the champ and overcome all odds and made it through. Yeah. And it was cool. I saw the Ali Chuck Wepner fight. I'm not sure if I saw it live, and I might have seen it live. I think it was in the early to mid 70s. And Howard Cosell, I believe, was announcing the fight. And I think I saw it live because big, huge fights used to be on Saturday nights occasionally. And it was before cable and before pay-per-view, and when boxing was really, I don't know where it stands today, but boxing was a big deal back in the 70s. And I remember my family sitting around and watching some huge, huge fights. And I think I saw Ali fight Chuck Wepner. And it could have been before my time. Maybe I saw it on tape, but I think it might have come out in it might have been 74, 75 or something like that. But maybe, again, I saw it taped. I don't remember. Where Howard Cosell maybe retired from announcing boxing because he felt the fight should have been stopped. But Wepner kept at it and stayed in the ring. Yeah. He was in a movie, Chuck Wepner. I believe he was the bad guy in Raising Arizona with Nicolas Cage. That's a pretty good movie. I didn't see it yesterday. I do remember the fourth movie I saw yesterday. But Raising Arizona was a pretty darn good movie. For anyone out there that hasn't seen it, I'd recommend it. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about a movie I saw yesterday, the third of my four-peat movie yesterday, my Labor Day movie marathon. Tenley says the ABC Wide World of Sports was the best. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. How many times, I don't know, and that was probably in the late 70s, early 80s, or 70s and 80s, early 80s maybe. How many times did I see that skier crash over the ski jump? The agony of defeat. Yeah. Hello, Will Bill Chill. I've missed you. I hope you don't feel abandoned. I've been going live on TikTok the last few days. I know you have an account here. So I'm excited to see you here, Will Bill Chill. Thank you for joining me. The fourth movie I saw yesterday. I would definitely recommend it too. I mean, probably not the greatest movie I've ever seen, but I definitely enjoyed it. It was called The Lincoln Lawyer, or Lincoln Attorney. And it starred Matthew McConaughey, who drove around in a Lincoln and was a defense attorney. Really good attorney. I like Matthew McConaughey. He's one of those actors that men want to be and women want to be with. Just kind of a good guy, charming guy. Know the women like him, and seems like a man's man, kind of. But anyway, it was a good movie. He represented a bunch of very bad guys that did bad things and was a really good attorney and got off some of them and had a guilty conscience and had his struggles in life like we all do. And although he looked like he had it all going on and figured out, he was divorced from a beautiful woman with a beautiful child. And the actress that played his ex-wife was Marissa Tomei. And so as he looks like he's got life figured out and got the world by the you-know-whats, making a lot of money and great at his job and figuring it all out. He's still found his way into struggles and a guilty conscience over something he'd done in the past. And it was interesting watching it because there was so many scenes. It wasn't a movie about drinking or overconsumption or alcoholism or any of those things. But there were a lot of scenes, and as a guy that stopped drinking just about 3 years ago, you'll see it. There's so many scenes where he's cracking open a drink or opening a bottle of beer or at a bar or having a cocktail and waking up feeling poopy. And I don't think the message was intended. I don't know if the movie was about his struggles, because most people will watch that movie and just see this sexy movie star, great attorney with getting the ladies. But I saw it as more than that. I saw it as more than that, and a flawed character that's reached such great points in his career and doing such a great job, but still flawed and still trying to cover up those flaws. So, yeah. So those were the 4 movies I saw yesterday. Let's see, we'll do a quick recap. Ghost, a romantic, almost thriller, starring Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. Seabiscuit, a story of redemption, a beautifully made movie about a horse in the 30s and the owner and the jockey and the horse trainer and the horse itself coming back from adversity and chasing their dreams and living their dreams. The Lincoln Attorney, starring Matthew McConaughey and Marissa Tomei, is about a flawed but extremely successful and charming attorney navigating this chapter of his life. And The Equalizer, starring Denzel Washington. Just as a bad dude. A bad dude, but a good guy, a really good character, almost father figure to some of the down and out people in the show. But they could have put a cape on him. And, yeah. Do I think the special effects in Ghost have aged well? I mean, good enough. Yeah, there were a couple scenes where the shadows turned into bad ghosts and dragged the bad guy to the bad places that they take him that, they wouldn't have today, but it didn't detract from the movie at all. I thought, Ghost wasn't about special effects. I mean, he walked through doors, and I think that aged well, and he did ghost-like things. Most of it aged well. Joe says the other 2 good movies are good as well. Yeah, I saw all 3 Equalizers. He's amazing in that. I wonder how much training they do, military training, or martial arts training, or combat training, because I don't think it's that natural. I mean, I think you got to practice to look good at holding disarming somebody or fighting or stuff like that. I don't think I could do it. Did I go to Blockbuster in the 90s? Sure, who didn't? Who didn't? When you were looking for something to do, you and your girlfriend or wife, I didn't have a wife back then, but my girlfriend, would go and find a movie at Blockbuster. It's kind of, I look back on it fondly. There's a scene in Ghost where he asks Whoopi Goldberg to put a penny underneath the door so he could accrue to Demi Moore that he was actually there and slide the penny up the door and float it to her. And made me think about how charming the good old days was. And I wonder how many people, if you asked on the street to give me a penny, how many people have a penny on them these days? I would say very few. I would say very few. And it kind of made me feel nostalgic for the old days. I mean, I like my cell phone. I'm talking to my cell phone right now. But there's a certain kind of longing for days past when you see something like that, and it reminds you of a time before cell phones and before so many things that we have these days. Yeah, and carrying pennies around in our pocket. And I tell you what, I still pick up pennies. I think it's part of why I live a charmed life. Because I believe in good fortune and yeah. And I think I'm a pretty lucky guy. So I'm going to have one more sip of coffee. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this Tuesday morning. It is about 6:10. The sky is lightening. I think the weather is fairly cool. It might be in the 50s where I'm at. And I'm looking forward. I feel well rested. I am got a great night's sleep. Had a peaceful, quiet day yesterday. I've got some things I'd like to accomplish today. I go to work at 3. I get to go to work at 3:15 today. I'm going to work hard. Hopefully have a lucrative shift. Hopefully move myself forward a little bit. We'll try and see if I make it to the grocery store. I probably got to replenish my fridge and my fruit supply, and maybe pick up a couple bags of coffee. In a perfect world, I'd see my little babies today if they're available. Might even make it to the gym and get a quick workout in before work today. That would be a perfect day, but we never know what the day holds. I will be making it to work at 3:15, and anything else I accomplish above and beyond that is just bonus. And I'm looking forward to experiencing my day, drinking some coffee, posting my videos, moving forward with gratitude and feeling good. And I hope you're excited about your day as well. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I hope you had a great night's sleep. I hope you watched one of the 4 movies I featured today. And you have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And yeah, hope you're feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.